it's Treasur Necole, your favorite Scorpio, and you are tuned into another episode of Inside the Chess podcast. Now, y'all know this season, we've had guests, we've had podcasters, we've had musicians. We're going to keep the musician thing going, man, and shout out to Johnny Dimitri, who was in the building on last week, and they kind of connect. You'll know when we'll get into it. But before we get there, man, we got Bre Nickelle in the building. What's up, Bre? We're gonna have some. So what's going on, Bre?
Man, I'm just happy to be here. Thank you for asking me to come.
Yeah. I like I was telling you off camera, like I just love the fact that we are all on each other's shows. We are all a part of what we doing. I just think it's just such a beautiful representation of unity, and especially being a women of color, that never gets old to see that example, because I ain't see enough of it growing up.
Facts.
So the fact that we had the opportunity to put it into people's faces, man. Mm-hmm. My chess mates, that's what I call my audience. That listen, you know what I'm saying? And I always involve them in the conversation, and I know it goes past my African American listeners and watchers. Mm-hmm. Well, we got all kinds of all races, and we just want to tap inside the chess, man. So, man. So
well, I'm ready to open up.
But before we start, y'all, that theme song that you just heard is the official theme song for Inside the Chess. It is available on all streaming platforms, guys, as well as the official music video on the 290 Mo Podcast YouTube channel. So, Bre.
Yes.
I always tell my guests and my audience that I name my title episodes, I always name them R&B song titles. Just because I'm just an R&B connoisseur, I can't go away from that. I love me some R&B, and I just want to always go back to the music, no matter where we branch out on certain things.
That's
so
dope.
Tonight's episode, you ready?
Yes.
Tonight's episode title is called "That's the Way Love Goes."
Ooh. Okay, Janet Jackson.
Yeah. We're gonna talk about the way love goes, because everybody got their own definition of how you should love, how they think, just projecting their opinion a lot. I know it's with social media, the opinion is like the main thing, right?
Yeah.
So we definitely gonna get into it and talk about it. But before we do that, I want my audience, my people who may not know you, tell them a little bit about yourself. Ever since well, we'll get into that, but to me, my favorite nickname for you is R&B.
Yeah.
You bring it, man. You bring the rhythm, you bring the blues, you bring the gospel, the soul, everything. So just, man, tell them who you are.
I appreciate that. What's going on? Hey, y'all, what's up? This is your girl, Bre Nickelle, a.k.a. The Quiet Storm.
Ooh.
A.k.a. The Secret Weapon. I like to be known as the sixth man on the bench.
Okay. You
coming off the bench, I don't have to even be starting five. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like the sixth man bring it all together. So I'm a singer, songwriter right here from Chicago, south suburbs. But Chicago is where I reside right now. I've been doing this since 2020, since the pandemic. And I just been giving it my all, just telling my story of how my life been since 2013 to currently. So, yeah.
And then just like you saying, you started in the pandemic. So many people started new things in the pandemic. So many people found other things to love, right? Because when we were shut down in the house, we had to hone into our like, we had no excuse not to hone into our passions or any that we had to go out and do it. So do you think that like music was one of those things? Because I know even before that, even though you say you started in 2020, you found your voice way before that, right?
Oh yeah.
So when was it that you decided, hey, I love this enough to go this way?
Man, I'm a church girl. You know this. We both are like pastors' kids, drummers. Church is our background.
Hoopers. You used to hoop too, right?
Man,
Come
what?
on, man.
Man, I found out that I could really do this, to be honest, probably like taking it serious the 10th grade. I revealed this on my podcast. The 10th grade, I was in science class, right? And I was like one of them students that I always got my work done ahead of time. I used to goof off when I ain't had nothing to do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it was a group of us in the back. The teacher would just move the kids like that to the back of the classroom. And we called ourselves rapping and battling each other. And I was the only girl. And I picked up, we was just jotting and they was going back and forth. I mean, the guys was really, really good. And these lyrics came, I'm never going to forget them. Treasure, I don't live that lifestyle of the stuff that I'm going to say that I said. Just a little clip. But it came to my head and it was just off of my imagination. And from that, I was like, man, I'm a storyteller.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I went on to write, you know, a theme song that never got, you know, its exposure for my church. That was called Push. Pray Until Something Happened.
Wow.
You know, it was very good. And the guy that I was dating at the time, he was the rapper on it. I did the hook and the verse, and it was really nice. My parents heard it, and my mother like did this side eye like what? You really can do this. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna say the 10th grade when I said I was like, when I was young, I had a pen and a pencil, but now I carry knives and pistols after all that I've been through. I ain't been through that. You know, I hadn't been through that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But it was just my imagination and then gathering things that the guy said. And I'm like, I was inspired. You know what I'm saying? And it just started from there. 10th grade in science class.
Hey, and you just lost me with that rap because I didn't even know it was like that.
It's heavy. Oh man, heavy.
And you know we got to still do a cipher. Now this is some off-camera shit.
Yes.
We talking about. Okay, yo.
Yes.
Cipher.
Yes.
It's coming. Y'all hold us to that.
Yes, man. Somebody invited me to do a cipher, and I was pissed off at myself.
Why? You ain't.
Like I had said that first. You know, I was supposed to take everybody at the March 6th event, but I think it was people got busy and schedules, and I was like, man, but I'm with you. We gonna do it. You know
what? What I learned is who can do it, that's who meant to do it.
Facts.
So if I invite 20 people to something and I know I believe it, I've already seen it. It's all I can't let, you know, and only 5, 6, 7 show up. Come on, we're
Facts. Facts. You right.
Yeah.
We're gonna pick that back up. We gonna pick it back up.
But we're gonna talk about that March 6th event too. But before we do that, just going back on the topic of the way love goes. We know society, especially when we get past that chapter 30 hill, right? When we get over that hill, we know that they have certain expectations for us as women and everything, as far as, because the regular way, what they call it, would be the relationship, right? The marriage, the kids, and then and they want to be with a man, right? So even all of that, just everything, just going into that. When did you decide in your mind that you were going to decide for yourself what and who you were going to love, rather than let other people decide that for you? Because, you know, yes, coming from the church especially, and we talked about that on something coming up soon. Y'all don't even know we done talk, so we cooking. Just know we cooking, man. But tell me about that. Tell me what kind of courage that took, because I know my listeners want to know, you know, when we start to get to know ourselves, we have to acquire a certain boldness. Right? So talk about when you found that for you.
Man, I'm going to take my glasses off.
That part did get a little foggy.
Woo! Man, when I found that for me was September 11, 2022. Whew. That's after so much trauma from the traditional relationship. As you know, I have a child. I have a little boy. Shout out to my son, Bryson. He's 9. I was married to his father. Things kind of went south, you know, in the midst of things going south, you know, you have those situationships. I had a situationship inside of a marriage. Too much to talk about, but I ended up getting pregnant, and I'm grateful for my son because I think he really saved my life in a lot of ways. You know what I'm saying? So from there, it just was a lot of back and forth, in and out, just a lot, man. And I went through a whole lot, like I say, from the year of 2013 to, I'ma just stop and say 2022. You know what I'm saying? And I ran into a young lady, you know, by the name of Johnny Dimitri. And I actually ran across her in 2021. And I wanted to connect with her. I heard her voice. She was, man, I'm like, who the hell is this?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, me and my producer at the time, we was looking for a up-and-coming female from Chicago, but kind of on the underground scene to do a song with. And I was on the hunt, you know, and she ran across my, you know, my peripheral. And,
right.
and I was like, man, I want her. At the time, I reached out. She reached right back. I'm like, I got this song, got this idea. That idea took off in like 24 hours.
Yeah.
We went to the studio, we recorded. Everything was just happening so fast. And her chemistry and energy was like, I hadn't been interested in women, you know. I can say that a few women had come on to me, but because of my background, and you bet not, I'm not going to talk to you about sex. We talked about that. But I'm going to talk to you about being gay. You better not be gay. And so that never crossed my mind. But I found out that in the midst of loving this woman, it's an unconditional love that I never received from a guy. She is the first person in a relationship that bought me flowers. That said a lot. She's opening this woman with, excuse my language, can I talk about the body part?
Go ahead.
With two breasts. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Ass. You know, everything like me.
Talk about it.
You know, you know, she's doing things for me that a man is supposed to do. How can I not? You know, she calling me. We're checking in every day. We're talking all day, texting and seeing each other. Dates phenomenal. You know, it's like, wow.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And like I say, September 11th, 2022. That's when we became like, okay, let's see what this is about. And it did take a lot of boldness. I lost a lot of supporters, a lot of family. That was rocky anyway, you know, but they just needed an excuse to, you know, back away. And it's okay. But in my personal space, I don't have to beg for attention, time, genuine, you know what I'm saying? I don't have to beg for none of that because she give it to me already. So yeah, September 11th, 22.
And you know what? That goes back, just like you say, you lost a lot of supporters and friends and family. That is what I mean about society telling you, this is how you should love. And most of the time, they haven't been exposed to the real definition of love. They just want to see what makes them comfortable for you, right?
Facts.
So it's so much bravery, and you have to use that same bravery in the music industry too, I believe. You know, whether gospel or secular, there are people in the music industry who everybody just won't have those best interests. And I think that we have to use that bravery and say, okay, I don't have to say yes to everything just because they feel like I should, or I don't have to join with this person. I have to do what my heart says and what it says inside my chest. Y'all see, I always gotta do that. But so chessmates, I want to ask you, man, hearing that and really understanding that, I want y'all to put in the comments if there ever was a time where you felt like you wanted to love a certain way, or you felt like you wanted to do things a certain way for you emotionally, and maybe it was some pushback, right? Because I know me and you ain't the only ones. I know when they wake up, be like, yes, it was this, that, and I'm definitely, I'm ready to hear that, y'all. But going back to relationships in the industry and stuff, so when I think about me and you, right, because I know they're like, how'd y'all get right here? When I think about how we met, I feel like I've met you before. I've always, when I first was able to meet you officially, it was a familiar thing where I felt like I met you before, and maybe I met you in a church setting. I don't know, maybe, you know, my dad was a traveling musician at different churches, so it could have been anything. And I sang at so many churches growing up, and it's like, when you said that you were a drummer and you used to hoop and you were a preacher's kid, I'm like, man, it was familiar, right? And I was like, man, there's so many things that we could do, man, in the future.
Man. I don't know if they ready for it.
I don't know. It's just, it ain't even, I can't even put it into words.
Man.
But as far as we know, I met you through Johnny Dimitri, right?
Yes.
Which is, man, the queen of ghetto gospel.
The queen, yeah.
And if you guys go and look at the episode before this, you will be able to enjoy the vibe.
Yeah.
That was a short time, right?
Yeah.
And you talk about your love story with Johnny, and I definitely appreciate you being vulnerable enough to do that, because they underestimate, this is a camera, but this is being, in weeks to come, this will be shown to whoever clicks the button.
Yeah.
And you opening up to yourself is the strongest thing you could have done, right?
Yeah.
So
appreciate that.
when we talk about our history, as far as when I met you through John Dimitri at Urban Grind TV, which was somewhere that you had you were a partnership with too.
Yeah.
At a time. And around the time where we start to meet, I had this show called Girl Talk, right? And that's when we brought the girls together and we talked about it, man. Guess what, y'all? Y'all can still look at those interviews. A lot of people feel like when you graduate and you go somewhere else that, that's deleted. No, that's the journey, and I'm so proud of that.
Yes.
And I don't want to take away from it. So y'all definitely can go back and look at those episodes as well. But how was your attitude coming into a situation like that? Were you expected to love being on the radio? Were you expecting to, because we singers, we know we can sing, we know we can play the instrument, but sometimes when we have our voice, we don't really know where we should put our energy in as to placing it, right? So when you got to the radio, how did you know, like, I want to take this further, get my own show and do my own stuff? Like,
actually, and a lot of people have a hard time saying this. A lot of women, but I've never been one to not give a woman her flowers. I believe in that. It encourages them to go on. But honestly, just watching you and Johnny.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we all singers, like you say. So that's one thing in common. But I'm just going up there. I was, you know what I'm saying, just dating Johnny and going up every Wednesday. She like, well, I got this podcast. And I'm like, oh, okay, I got this radio show. And I'm like, okay, let me come check you out. And then it became like me just watching y'all, and you was so talented and natural, and y'all owned it, and to me, no disrespect to anybody up there, but I have to take my hat, wig, whatever you call it, off to y'all, because y'all was the queens up there. I don't,
you heard
signals got crossed and all of that shit, but Treasur and Johnny Dimitri, man, they ran it up there, and just simply watching y'all, it made me feel like I can add this to my resume. Yes. You know what I'm saying? Let me just sit back and learn. And I ain't never been one that's trying to come in and take over. I already know. No, I didn't know that. I didn't know nothing about that. And it was just me sitting there, and then the cameraman coming over to me like, you think you want to do this? And Johnny come like, yeah, babe. And I'm like, no, I don't want to do this. To finally stepping in front and then, holding the mic and interviewing somebody. And it's like, oh, shit, I can do this.
Oh, yeah.
So, just being around y'all, helping me to evolve. So thank you for that.
Wow.
I'm giving Treasur her flowers in front of your, I'm going to say millions of viewers. We manifesting it. Why not us? You know what I'm saying? Thank you for being a part of the process of what now is the ever-evolving Bre Nickelle.
Yes.
Adding to another hat that I wear. So thank you.
Wow, man. And you know what? Just going into all of that, after that, it seemed like it wouldn't stop. As soon as we were confident in our voices, like even at the Treehouse, I did an episode with you at the Treehouse podcast.
Wow, I forgot about that. Wow.
Yeah, and then after that, there was an R&B show. Wow. That was a night, wasn't it?
That was a night.
Let's go back. Let's do a little flashback.
You know, I don't know if y'all do this. I don't want to overstep. But right here would be a good segue for you to enter your video to show them. Yo, she came on that show on March 6th and tore the stage up. You should post it.
We will.
Cause you said round and around and around. Like you went, like everybody was just engaged at the, I was on the stage like.
You was.
Damn. You know what I'm saying? So man, that was a phenomenal night. Once again, I got to shout out my lady, Johnny Dimitri. I have been talking about doing a show since she had did one like the previous year in July. And it was a really nice turnout. And then this guy from my neck of the woods, the south suburbs, he's like a club promoter. He came to me, inboxed me like, man, I got 2 clubs. I want you to have a residency there. So I'm like, oh shit, okay then. So me and my girl, I'm like, babe, I want you to come with me. That's one thing that people get. You can't be selfish. You know what I'm saying? God, what God has for you is for you. Nobody can take that away from you. Even if this person is a better singer, a stronger singer, or whatever the case may be, what God got for you is for you. So I don't mind sharing. So we went out there a couple times. We patronized their establishments and everything. I ended up building a relationship with a up-and-coming comedian. Shout out to Yaya. She runs with like Big Lowdown and Uncle Hank and stuff. I had her on my show. So me and her are closer because of that. You know, but me and him didn't work out because it was just kind of all over the place. And I kept telling Johnny, like, man, I want to do it, but I'm scared. And she was like, you know what, babe? I'm going to pay for it. She ended up paying for it and came to me and told me about it. I'm like, you did?
Yeah.
She like, yeah, now what you got to say now? And I'm like, oh, I need some time.
Right.
She like, nah, you got enough time, so what you got to say now? And I was trying to get out of it because I was nervous.
Yes.
You know, like who going to show up? And just knowing my history of non-supporters and stuff like that. But I ended up putting it together, got a hell of a roster. You know what I'm saying? And it was decent.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You gotta run it back for real.
I'm gonna run it back.
Yes.
I was supposed to have, only thing that pisses me off from time to time, I was supposed to have a live band that night. The day of, I'm sitting in the MAC makeup chair. I get a call like from Felice. Shout out to Felice at Determined Radio. I get a call from her and she's like, you cannot have the band come today. I said, what you mean? Like, it's about to be showtime. And she said, no, it was some FBI stuff going on. And they just called the owner and said, if you have that band out here tonight, we're going to have like a squad out here with posters and we're going to shut your place down.
Really?
It was so tough for me. Because I was like, is this the enemy? You know, like I serve a God.
Yeah.
Shit. Baby, Johnny was like, shut it down. You don't need it. You got us. Call us. Tell everybody I had an extra song. Do that. Like, and I did it and it turned out just as good. But when I run it back,
yes,
I'm going to have a live band. Don't even worry about it.
Definitely. And then just going from that and just stop actually taking a pause right there about because that show was R&B infused, right? It was infused with R&B, soul, rap. I mean, anything you could think of, y'all, it was there in that building that night.
Yes.
And how do you, and we'll go into this just a little bit more on the second half, but how is it that, when did you also decide that R&B was going to be the genre in which you showed the world, like, hey, this is how I'm going to show my expression of love? Because you could have showed your expression of love through country, through pop, through gospel, but you chose R&B. Why is that?
Man, I got a sister that is 7 years older than me, right? She introduced me to 90s R&B, SWV, Total, Escape, Mary J., Jodeci, Guy, Kelly Price, like R. Kelly.
Yeah, come on.
My auntie and my sister, they love R. Kelly so much. You cannot tell them that he did what he did. It's like, oh, okay. You know what I'm saying? So I grew up around, man, my sister and my auntie Louise. They really pushed me in the direction of R&B music. Just the passion, the grit, I think, first of all, I think R&B music is the hardest music to portray to an audience.
That's very true.
We can get up there and talk that no disrespect to rappers at all. You know what I'm saying? But we can get up there, but we could do all of that. You gotta bear your soul. Not only, I'm an artist that nobody writes for me. Johnny Dimitri wrote on my up and coming album, R&B. She wrote half of a verse, and I did not want to keep it at first. But it was so damn good. I had to humble myself. Girl, go ahead.
It's hard to use somebody else's words when it's good. It's good.
So hard. So it had to be good. So not only am I writing it, and all the emotions that come behind that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like my first album, my first EP is called Vivid. Oh my gosh. I told a lot of truth on there. That's embarrassing. That's embarrassing. Embarrassing. Like, why would you take that? A lot of stuff. But those are my words. That's what I went through. You know what I'm saying? And so for an R&B artist to write it, to perform, to sing it, people take us for granted. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I wanted to do a night of R&B. It's just to show and pay homage to real singers. And let them display their talent, you know what I'm saying, for the world to see.
And man, it's like I said, we can't wait for you to run that back.
Oh yeah.
And we actually want to play a trailer of your video and your for our next commercial. So you're gonna send that over. We're gonna do that because like I always tell my chessmates, man, Inside the Chess is not just a show. 290 Mo presents Treasur Necole. No. I believe that in order to make something work, in order to make something grow, you have to water it with many seeds, and those seeds are the people that you decide to associate yourself with, right? So we y'all definitely gonna hear Johnny Dimitri.
It's okay.
Bre Nickelle. See, you said her name you've been saying her name all interview. Johnny, look. See? Now Johnny ain't here tonight, but you see what I'm saying? But look.
All right, we gonna get off my girl.
So this the cue. So with that being said, man, we're gonna take a commercial break. And when we come back, we're gonna get more into this lioness. And y'all gonna understand why I call her that when we come back, okay, on Inside the Chess.
First time that we locked eyes, right then we made a promise, 'cause I just had a vision. It was me you was gripping. Tell me how does it work? Yeah, in your ear will you listen to make all my dreams come true? Started when we laying next to you, and then what you know and what is true, that I love you more than me. Baby, I ain't got nothing to prove, but if I did, then darling, it's the move. Hands all on your body, I'm in tune, feeling he can follow what we do.
Yo, what's up, y'all? It's Treasur Necole, your favorite Scorpio. And before we came back, I told y'all I got a lioness in the building. I say that because you're a Leo. I hear you're a Leo, man. We got a lioness in the building. So, we talk about astrology and we talk about spirituality. All those things go into getting to know what's inside your heart, right? So I want to know, like, when you decide to love your partner or when you choosing a partner, do you take their zodiac sign into consideration?
No.
You don't?
No.
Yeah.
I feel that people are individuals. You know what I'm saying? I know it's a lot of people that be like, oh yeah, you got to pay attention to the signs. But no, I pay attention to character.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Because you can exhibit a sign or a trait that the world say that a Leo is. You know what I'm saying? And you a Scorpio, right?
Yeah.
I can exhibit Scorpio, and I'm a Leo. You know, so no, I don't get into. I just look at how you treat me. But I would love to know. Do you?
I do not. I do
Okay.
not. But when I realized that, because my most recent relationship, I won't say my last relationship because you never know when it's over. But my most recent relationship is with my same sign. I'm like,
Okay.
damn. I'm like, wait, am I like this?
Oh. Confession.
Okay.
My child father is a Leo. Enough said.
Baby.
I would never. Now, I take that and I would never date a, no. Thank God that we're great co-parents now. To God be the glory. We found a common ground, which is that little boy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, but no.
See what I'm saying? So it might just be on some same sign shit. But, you know, I don't know. Pray for us all in the meantime.
Yeah.
But look, icebreaker. I always actually start back when we come back from the commercial. I always start with an icebreaker, and that's a game, man. We got a game. We gotta, just to break that ice a little bit. So we ain't, so interviewee going back and forth. We really just want it to be as natural as possible. So I got a game called Trash or Treasure. Yeah.
Hey.
And it stems, from that from that famous quote, another one man's trash is another man's treasure, right?
Sure.
And right. And so I'm gonna name just some random things, and you tell me if you're gonna trash it, meaning no, I ain't fucking with it, I ain't dealing with it. Or you gonna treasure it, you gonna fuck with it. You gonna fuck with it, right?
Okay.
So I got a couple of things, man. All right, so earlier you said to me that you had a situationship inside of a marriage. So how do you feel about an open marriage? Are you
want me to
trashing that? Or you
trash?
trashing that? Have your views changed? Is that what you're saying?
My views, I value marriage to be very sacred. I just didn't have a sacred person at the time. He's married now, and sometimes what takes a bold person and a person that's really aware of themselves and aware of the person that they love is to know that you might not just be that person for them. You know what I'm saying? It's okay. It don't mean you're a bad person. Y'all wasn't supposed to be together. But to that trash, because I totally honor marriage.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Now relationship. I was just that's crazy. I was just telling Mo, if you want a hall pass, just tell me.
Really?
Just tell me. Give me the opportunity to say yay or nay.
I don't believe it's that easy.
Okay.
So you saying if your love come up to you and say, man, Joe, I ain't gonna lie, this might be a piece I need to try.
Okay.
You gonna be like, and baby, I'm coming back. It ain't nothing like that, but just let me see what's to it for real. And the added thing on top of that is, especially when it's a woman and woman relationship, we know how emotional we are.
Ooh, yes.
So you telling me that, Bre Nickelle?
It would be stipulation. Your hall pass would be with the guy. I'm not gonna go with the female because I know how we are. Women fall in love.
Ooh.
I don't want to. No, so you're not gonna be able to do that.
Okay. So we trashing that open relationship.
Yeah, we trash. We trash. We play ball, right?
Ooh, yeah. Okay. So another thing I heard you say, I heard you talk about your king, Bryson. And I want to know, are we trashing the idea of having more kids? Are we treasuring that idea? Are we saying, yeah, that's a possibility? So more kids, expanding that that motherhood, that, you know, because how old is your son?
9.
9.
Yeah.
So
physically, trash.
yeah.
I'm not, because health purposes. They tell us do not have a child past 37 because, you know, you can birth a child that has Down syndrome, ADHD. It's a lot of things. I don't want to do that. You know what I'm saying? But surrogacy, I'm not opposed. Or adoption.
Really?
I'm not opposed to that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
definitely.
yeah, I mean, I'm open.
So we got one trash and one treasure, basically, right?
One treasure, yeah.
Okay, so this is the last one here. Let's see, because it could be just the littlest things to get our opinions on that get a listener or a watcher related to what we talking about, and just have them reach us. So I don't even know if this is gonna be keeping it light, but you're a music head, so you know good music. You talked about the king of R&B, in my opinion, which is R. Kelly.
Man,
you hear what I'm telling you?
You hear me?
I mean, I can't count his sins. I'm not God. What I can do is tell you what that music sound like.
What?
So when we talk about music legends of that nature,
yes,
are you trashing or treasuring P. Diddy?
Ooh.
What you doing with Bad Boy? You keeping him around? You gonna do the Diddy Bop for 20 more years? What you gonna do?
Oh, it's so fresh.
But you know the irony of that? When this episode come out,
it's gonna be, yeah. Dog.
You'll forgive him by that time.
Man, it is gonna be a double standard. Ooh. I know your listeners and everything. They gonna chew me up. How can you take up and not take me?
Yeah.
Trash.
Wow, yeah.
First of all, he didn't even know. I trashed him a long time ago.
Really?
When you didn't know how to look at the stuff that he did with making the band. Like, you saw he was a jerk then.
The
cheesecake walk. Mike having to lose all of them pounds.
Yeah.
Like, he was kind of harsh. Danity Kane. He had his hands on a lot of good groups and fumbled the bag. But did he fumble the bag? Was it on purpose? And another thing that put the nail in the coffin for me is when he knew this trouble was coming, he made them sign NDAs and gave them their royalties back. You a scumbag. Trash.
Woo! Hey, so look, we keeping R and we trashing P. And that's the way of the game right now, y'all. It is what it is. So man, just recollecting ourselves from all that, right? Going into that spirituality, right? Because you talk about when I go on your Instagram and I see the things that you do post, you always let it be known that you're a spiritual person, right? And I never wanted this to be a religious podcast. I never wanted this to be a podcast for only one demographic of people to come to. I want it to be somewhere everybody could find their way. And so how do you balance when it comes to love and then it comes to like the church, right? The church will say, oh, you betrayed us by picking R&B. I know let me tell you, when I was 16, 15, they were telling me that I turned my back on the church because I came out with an R&B song. And it was just like, damn, it kind of made me doubt my love for God. Like, man, do I really love him? I mean, like, it was society telling me you can only do this. So when it comes to, I don't know if you're still active in your church or not, but how do your church family members and friends feel even about you going so hard in R&B?
Man, I'm not active in my church home anymore. You know, unfortunately, you know, everybody knows that my parents left here. But family and the church members that do know me, it's 50-50. You know what I'm saying? like I say, please revisit the Vivid EP that I got out.
Yes.
It's all type of stuff on there. But my most popular, famous song, I would say, in the city is Soul.
Mm-hmm.
And that's about a sexual encounter.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I get really graphic about head and man, hey. And so
where can we find this?
on all streaming platforms. No, I have a song called Language, actually, it's about head giving.
What's the name of it?
Language. Your tongue is speaking my language.
Well,
You know, that's the hook. So now that I have things out like that, people like, what? How could you? But you. You know what I'm saying? Like, morally, they're closed off, but they want to know. Like,
they want to hear.
Girl, I've been wanting to say that for 30 years. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
what the fuck? You know, so, hey, these days, you with me or you against me.
Yeah.
I'm doing this for me, baby. You know what I'm saying? Because I know once it blows, it's going to be like, oh, yeah, I know her. God want to look at my heart.
Yeah.
Brittany, are you going to say you know them back?
Mm-hmm.
Because I created you different. You don't flow with them. You flow up here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm on.
And just like you say, that relationship that you have with God and the way that he speaks to you and reveals things to you, how does God's love work in your life? Do you feel like you have a good relationship with him? And do you feel like your relationship has even changed with him just with the changes that you've made?
Two sides.
Yeah.
Because my upbringing is so strong. Sometimes I feel like I can't talk to him because of what I've chosen and how I've chosen to live. Mm-hmm. But then the other side is like, well, he said he'll never leave you or forsake you. Mm-hmm. You could talk to him. Before you even said that you was gonna do this September 11th, 2022, you was born in 1987. And before that, it was written.
It was written.
You know what I'm saying? He knew it. You know, so that gives me solace. At the same time, me and my partner, we pray together, we manifest together. You know what I'm saying? We'll go to church, we'll watch church. You know, so nothing really has changed. You know, to be truthfully honest about it, this relationship is this person that I'm dating now, Johnny, she's more equally yoked than any of the other guys. Like, I had gun toting. Drugs, like, you know, like,
yeah.
church.
Mm-hmm.
No. You know, so yeah.
And even going back into those dynamics of love, when we even go back to the game where you said, as far as more kids, yeah, you open to adoption and you're open to having, to expanding your motherhood. So what would be your advice though to your kid now? Because you're a voice on so many platforms, but he is, you pour into him as a mother. You know, we see Bre Nickelle here, but you're mommy to him. So what is it too early right now to tell our kids about love and people and how to watch out for the people and to build their discernment? Because I know by the time I was 9 and 10, they was doing it to me. Mm-hmm. They was trying to build me up in a spiritual way. So are you doing that same thing?
Absolutely.
Letting him know how love goes?
Yes, absolutely. My boy is learning a lot these days about accountability. Something that I'm just learning in my 30s. I was just on the phone with my godmother, and I had to tell a hard truth that I feel like my parents were enablers, but they did it out of love. They coddled me. They had no idea that they would leave me when I was 25. Like, you couldn't have told none of us that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So they thought they had time. We all thought we had time to, and that's the funny thing about it. We don't know. You know what I'm saying? So my boy is learning that however you treat others, don't be offended if they treat you the same way. Don't expect something. Don't expect to treat somebody like shit and you get roses. No, that's not how that works. So he's definitely learned about accountability. He knows God. We pray every day. You know what I'm saying? I would like to, get back into church. Like when we first started, me and him, man, we would go to church every Sunday. He was in children's church, sometimes Bible study and stuff like that. But I started seeing things differently. You know what I'm saying? And just choosing to go a different direction because I wanted to kind of stray away from being religious and letting it be an internal thing and being spiritual. So at 9 it's not too early because they gonna know all of the rap songs. They gonna know how to cut
TikTok dances. What?
He's one of the best dancers. He probably never, and he's becoming a great singer. I hear him, you know what I'm saying?
Wow.
But I was upstairs with him the other day, like last week, and he was on the game with his little friends. I'm so glad. He's a social butterfly. Like his phone blows up as if he's like, I'm like, who is that?
Yeah, exactly.
It's like
Snapchat, all type of stuff.
Man, no, he has no social media. I don't believe in that. It's just regular FaceTime.
Wow,
his little friends calling him. And man, he just turned 9 August 28th. Me and him sitting, I said, let's have a mommy Sunday. I'm dedicating this day to my son. I don't want nobody else with us. Like, fuck it. And took him, let him pick his restaurant after that. We was going to go to the mall, get him some outfits, head to the arcade, whatever he wanted to do. Yeah. We sitting at the table, his phone, boop, boop, boop. I'm like, who is that? Mom, can I answer this? These are my friends. I'm like, okay. They're like, bro, happy birthday. Like, it's a bunch of them, 9-year-olds. I'm like, okay. He like, they like, when you going home, bro? Let's play the game. He like, my mom wants to take me out. I'm like, when I heard that, I was like, let me ask him what he really want to do. I said, what you really want to do? Well, I kind of want to go home and play the game. As a mom, I felt like, hell nah, I'm dedicated. I got off work. I didn't even go to work. I took the day off. I want to celebrate you. But it was like, nah, listen to him for a change. Parents, listen to your kids. So we went home. Yeah. He had the time of his life. You hear him upstairs hollering and yelling and screaming. But the other day, he was sitting there and his friend, this little boy was in the 3rd grade, Bryson's in the 4th. He was like, man, what the fuck? I'm like, he like, bro, my mom's here. You can't do that. So the little boy, oh, my bad. So they going. He like, God damn, man. So after a while, I'm like, okay, tell him Bryson no. Bryson said, some time had passed. Bryson said it himself. Like, God damn, what the hell you doing, bro? And I said, Bryson. He like, oh man, Mom, I'm so sorry. Right. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm sorry. Do you want me to get off? And I was like, nah, just don't let it happen again. You know what I'm saying? Like, I said all that to say, I love having a little boy. Let them have their freedom, but you still have to keep the reins on. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Teach them responsibility, teach them accountability. I'm like, next time it happened, this was going to happen, this, that, and the third. You know what I'm saying? So, man, yeah, that's my king, man. I love my little boy, and we try to stay connected together as a unit. We try to stay connected together with God, and my dynamic with my girl, we all pray. We head out together every day and we pray in the car together, and I really do believe I was raised on a family that prays together, stays together. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we live by.
Wow. And then just with all of that combining, it just shows that love goes a whole bunch of different ways. It just depends on the way that you choose, and as long as it makes you happy, and it fulfills you in the best way, then that's the way, right? And so, chessmates, I want that to be a message to you. Whatever way it is that you're deciding to love or you're choosing to love, just make sure that that is something that you want, and that's something that your spirit and your soul is in agreement with. Otherwise, it's going to be a daily fight, a daily battle, right? And you're going to hurt a lot of people in the process because you don't know how the hell you want to love or who you want to love, and it's just a whole bunch of this, that, and the third. So with that being said, man, we almost about to wrap it up, man. It's been such a gift speaking with you and talking to you. I want you to tell the people what it is that you have coming up.
Man, currently right now, me and my bro 290 Mo, we shot a remake of If Only You Knew. I did a remake of that by Patti LaBelle. That's out right now on YouTube. You can check the visual out for that. I'm actually working on R&Bre, the album that this been in the works for 2 years. But I feel like if I'm gonna say that, I don't have to rush.
And it's gonna be a classic.
You know, it's gonna be a classic, man. I probably have about roughly 30 songs, and it's like give or take. And each day, you know what I'm saying, at any moment I can have an epiphany or a light bulb goes off, whatever you want to call it. Like, take that away, add this.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So
I feel like
I'm giving Chicago vibes. I'm giving Dusties. I'm giving, man, this about to be one of them ones, you know. But for the time being, once again, me and 290 Mo, we're going to work on a visual for my song called Contemplating. Because I feel like you got to keep yourself in the algorithm. So this is a heavy song. This for the people that's in between. Like, you gave your all, and then your all is not quite working. And so you're on the verge of like slipping, and you got your smoke and your drink.
Oh, yeah, okay.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm working on that. And then I also have a podcast right up under the same umbrella as you called You Know. It's a podcast based around the game Uno. We playing cards.
And they
Uno
got to check our episode out too. I see I already did an episode.
Oh, yeah. She already, man, that one was good.
I love
Erykah Badu.
Yeah, I did have on the scarf that day.
Man, I
could get in touch with the hairstylist, man.
I actually sent that out recently, and people was like, who is Shorty? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, that's Treasur Necole getting tuned. They loved Round and Around and man. So, yeah, that's what I'm working on. My podcast, R&Bre, Contemplating video coming up. If Only You Knew, and a host of other things. Small things, but yeah.
Hey, we love to see it. And you know, at Inside the Chest, man, something I'm starting new. Every guest I have, they ignite like a new, like, little segment or whatever. I don't know. It's just you all inspire me so much when you come out here. But I want to know, I just want to go back, because you said you had an EP called Vivid, and you had a song on there called Language, right?
Well, Language was a separate entity.
Okay.
Right after that.
I want to close the show out. I want you to just answer this one question for me.
Okay.
What's your love language in order? You know all of them? So we got physical touch, words of affection, gifts, time, and acts of service.
You know.
So what's number one?
Number one, sorry to say it, but it's physical touch.
Need it. I need it.
Man.
Do you hear what I'm saying?
I think physical touch, people could take that, oh, you just a freaky, horny motherfucker. No, I'm allowing you into my personal space.
Something that don't let nobody do. You hear me?
Because it's too many spirits. It's too much shit. Man, so yeah, physical touch. Then I would say I like to speak life into her.
Words.
You know, words, man. That's one of the main reasons she say that she fell in love with me, because I pour so much into her just by words. You know what I'm saying? Words can go a long way. You know, you'll be surprised how many people heard, you ain't shit, you ain't never gonna be shit, you just like you did. But what happens when you tell them, man, you so great, you so awesome, You know what I'm saying? I see this in you, and you could do anything. And I speak abundance over your life. I speak, I speak healing. I speak life. I speak that's very feeding. You know what I'm saying? And the rest of them, they can fall where they fall.
Hey, so you heard it here first. Y'all know how we do here, man. We get inside the chest. You definitely opened up your heart today, and we appreciate you for coming out. We always like to make this a safe space. So y'all already know, follow us everywhere at Inside the Chest Podcast. Follow Bre Nickelle at
BreNickelle on all streaming platforms.
And y'all will catch us on more shows, more podcasts. I mean, this is not the end. This is only the beginning. Shout out to 290 Mo.
Yes.
We'll see y'all next week.